It Through by Edgar Guest. I'm telling y'all, my dogs are so tired of me. Okay, anyway, of course, before we jump into anything concerning the text, we always have to read the background information. Excuse me, I hope all is well. How are we doing this morning, evening, afternoon, today? Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into this about this text. Now keep in mind, just like my last popping videos, you can either pause the video or keep it playing. It's up to you. Okay, so you can go ahead and pause the video now to go ahead and read the about this text before we continue. Okay, so Edgar Guest, he was born in 1881 and he passed in 1959, and he was an American newspaperman and poet. Okay, his property was published. His poetry. His poetry was published in a daily column in more than 300 newspapers. Okay, 300. And his poetry collections have sold more than a million copies. Okay, his work is known for hopeful messages that focus on everyday emotions and experiences. Okay, so what we're going to do now is you're going to follow along as I'm going to read through this poem. Okay, questions, comments, concerns? I guess y'all can't even speak up and say if you have any. Okay, as always, just to preface, if you do need help with this assignment, getting logged in, so on and so forth, please do not hesitate in DMing me, Miss Elric, Miss Bryant, Miss McClellan, Miss Cobb, Miss Ryerstadt, so on and so forth, so we can get you righty-tighty. Okay? So remember, I'm going to go ahead and read through this first time through without breaks, and then we'll go over and do the guided reading questions together. Can y'all see this? Is this big enough? Let me see. My bifocal gang. Okay, here we go. When you're up against trouble, meet it squarely, face to face. Lift your chin and set your shoulders, plant your feet and take a brace. When it's vain to try to dodge it, do the best that you can do. You may fail, but you may conquer. See it through. Black may be the clouds about you and your future may seem grim, but don't let your nerve desert you. Keep yourself in fighting trim. If the worst is bound to happen, in spite of all that you can do, running from it will not save you. See it through. Even hope may seem but futile, when with troubles you're beset. But remember, you are facing just what other men have met. You may fail, but fall still fighting. Don't give up, whatever you do. Eyes front, head high to the finish. See it through. Okay? So let's go back to the top. Let me back this up a little bit. Okay, so it says teacher reads the poem out loud again, and then teacher guides class through the questions below. So if you do need that poem read again, you can always go to the start of the video and replay it again. Okay? Okay. So let's talk about this. It says think and share for line 1. So it says based on line 1, describe the audience of this poem, right? So let's look at line 1. It says when you're up against a trouble. What does it mean to be up against a trouble, right? Does it have a positive connotation or a negative connotation, right? What does negative connotation mean? Almost like somebody's coming at you crazy, right? Okay, so if somebody, or excuse me, not if somebody, so describe the audience of this poem, like who is the poem, who is the speaker speaking to, essentially, okay? So let's look at lines 1 through 4. Of course, if you don't have evidence, you don't have anything forming, correct? So it says, underline 2 pieces of evidence that show what the speaker thinks someone should do when up against trouble, okay? So let's look at lines 1 through 4. Remember, we're looking for 2 pieces of textual evidence. Okay, there's lines 1 through 4. You can either pause the video or go ahead and keep it playing. Okay, so let's go ahead it says, what does it usually mean when you see black clouds in the sky? Remember, we're thinking connotation. Does it have a positive or a negative, okay? It's like shady, like, it just got chilly here, okay? So what does it usually mean when you see black clouds in the sky? Let's look at line 9. Black may be the clouds about you. Imagine if somebody walked up to you and said, black may be the clouds about you. It's like, what? Hold on, that shade is getting a little chilly here, right? Okay. So here is the question to line 9 again. What does it mean when you see black clouds in the sky? Please feel free to pause the video at this time, or you can go ahead and continue. Okay, and then for lines 11 through 12, in your own words, rewrite, okay, or paraphrase the figurative meaning of line 11. Okay, let's look at line 11. What does it mean about commonly? But don't let your nerve desert you. What does that mean? Don't let your nerve desert you. Okay, go ahead and write your answer down. Feel free to pause the video at this time. All right, we're going to go ahead and continue. So, in your own words, rewrite or paraphrase, on line 15, right? So, in regards to this, I got a couple of answers back where students were supposed to rewrite or paraphrase, and they just kind of like listed off a couple of like, you know, pretty decent words or whatever. That's awesome. However, that's not what this is asking you to do. Okay, so it's asking you to rewrite. If you were the author and you were like, man, you know what? Line 15 looks a little bit janky. Let me rewrite it. I need you to rewrite it in your own words, okay? Or paraphrase in your own words. It's up to you. Okay, so let's go ahead and scoot down. So line 21 here, it says, what does the phrase fall still fighting suggest readers should do if they fail? Okay, let's go ahead and look at that context because that's a little funky to me, right? So you may fail, but fall still fighting, right? But fall still fighting. What does that really mean? You may fail, but fall still fighting, sis. Okay, so let's look at that 21. Go ahead and feel free to pause the video here if you need to. Okay, sorry y'all. And then what phrase is being repeated in each stanza of the poem? Okay, what phrase is being repeated? Remember, what does it mean to repeat something? So if a teacher were to ask you, hey, can I borrow a pencil? 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 And yes, I'm the teacher that's asking, hey, can I borrow a pencil? Okay, that is being repeated, right? So what is being repeated in each phrase, in each stanza here? Now remember, this stanza is where the poem breaks. So this would be a stanza here. Just quick review. Okay, this next section would be a stanza here. Okay, and then we have our third and final here. So this poem has 3 stanzas. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'll run through this poem real quick through the computer, and you can pause if you like just to see if you can see any type of repetition. Not repetition, anything that's being repeated. Which is essentially the same thing. Okay, feel free to pause the video here too. And then here's the last piece. Okay, and just a reminder, the question asks what phrase is repeated in each stanza of the poem. Okay, now let's go ahead and address those footnotes real quick. Vain means without success, and it's an adjective. Okay, nerve, noun. Okay, and it means courage. Desert, to leave without promise to return, right? Like, you deserted me! What am I supposed to do without you? Okay, you deserted me, to leave someone without promise to return. Okay. 4 says keep yourself in fighting trim, and fighting trim Okay, it refers to remaining in good, strong physical condition, being ready for a fight. Okay, and then 5, spite. In this case, spite is short of despite. Okay, so despite of all that you can do, so regardless of all that you can do, right? Okay, so let's look at number 6 here. Where are my footnotes at? Okay, futile, it's an adjective. Okay, not effective or pointless. And then number 7, beset, means harassed, threatened, or attacked continuously. Okay, bullied could go with that word as well. Okay, and then after the first read, our first question is, what is the main idea or gist of the poem? What is this poem telling me? What is this poem talking about? If you had a sibling or a cousin or a niece or a nephew, right, that read this poem, they're like, man, you know, I'm in the 2nd grade. What am I supposed to know about this? What's the gist of the poem? Like, I don't know what the poem is talking about. Okay, you're going to tell them, the poem is about blase, blase, blase. Okay? Perfect. All right, 6th grade, I think that is it. Please, as always, let us know if we can help. My DMs are always open. My email is open. My teams are open. Everybody is available to help you. So please, 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 if you need help, let us know. All right? Love y'all. Take care.